Alright, y'all. I'm gonna get straight to it. Y'all wanna know the tips? Y'all wanna know the sauce? I'm gonna give it to y'all. So, y'all wanna get waves fast. Let me just give y'all three tips. Not one, not two, but three. On how y'all can make progress the quickest way possible. Because I got too many people coming to me, telling me, asking me, how can I get waves fast? People don't want to put in the work. That's a whole different topic that I'm getting to. But people want to get waves fast. People want to progress fast. So I'm gonna give y'all the sauce. I'm gonna give y'all the tips to gain progress in the quickest way possible. For all y'all impatient people out there, and I'm impatient too, I feel it. But I'm gonna get y'all right quick. So just follow these three tips, y'all gonna be alright. Alright, let's get straight to it. Tip number one. If y'all want to gain progress fast, and I'm talking about like very fast progress, like in less than a couple weeks, like in a couple less than a couple weeks, like less than half a month, y'all gonna start seeing results. First thing y'all want to do, trust me, hard brush. If y'all not hard brushing, you ain't making progress quick. If you have coarse hair like me, if you're a coarse hair waver, it's very important to hard brush. It is gonna be probably your most essential piece of work that you gotta put in. You're gonna have to hard brush every day consistently. You should be brushing with a hard brush more than you brush with any other brush, and I can't emphasize that enough. And also, people complain a lot that hard brush hurts your head or hurts your scalp, but it's what you gotta do if you want to gain progress quick. Trust me. If you just want to gain linear progress, you can use a medium brush. You could put in a little bit of work. You're gonna be fine. You'll gain progress slowly. But if you don't want to waste time, you got 2 weeks into the next wave check and you have no waves, I'm not gonna lie to you. This right here, not this exact brush. You don't need this exact brush, even though this is a good brush. Any type of hard brush will get you right. A consistent hard brush. And another tip I want to give y'all with the hard brushes, if you're using a curved brush for your hard brush sessions, stick to a curved brush every single time. Don't switch between a curved brush and a straight brush. Either stick with one when you're doing your brush session. Stick with a curved brush or a straight brush when you're doing your hard brushing. The rest, sometimes you can switch it up. But for hard brushing especially, use either a curved brush or use a straight brush. Don't use both and switch each and every day. Only reason I have this is because this is my shower brush, so that's different. But for this is my consistent hard brush that I use. So I'm always using a curved brush every single time I'm brushing off. And I have a lot of y'all also complaining to me that y'all don't want a hard brush because it hurts your scalp too much. Like, really? Like, do you really want to be about this wave life and you complaining that a brush hurts your head? That's like saying you want to be a bodybuilder, but you go to the gym and you don't want to lift weights because lifting weights hurts your arms.
What?
If it hurts, I'm not saying you should make it hurt. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying that if it doesn't hurt, you're not making progress. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're on a low cut, right now, my length is probably like, for my hair, it's like at a 2, probably like a 2.5. So if you're brushing with a hard brush consistently to get progress quick, you're going to be putting in a lot of strokes. So it might hurt a little bit. It's gonna hurt your scalp, especially if you're on a low cut. If you have medium or straight hair and your hair is thicker and you have higher length hair and you're using a hard brush, which you should be, it probably won't get to your scalp or hurt it as much or irritate it as much. That might be better. But even if you're a coarse hair waver, just because you got low hair or you're a coarse hair waver, doesn't mean you shouldn't be using a hard brush. The other brushes are good to use, but just because you're on a low cut, you can still brush with a hard brush. It doesn't mean you gotta brush with the harder, just brush out there like rocks. There's different levels to it in like the hard brush category. But it should be under the category of hard brush. It should not be a medium or so. Even though you still can brush with those other brushes. But remember guys, the topic of the video is how to gain progress fast. This is not regular progress. This is exponential progress. Like you wanna go straight to the roof. And the fastest way possible. You gotta be using a hard brush consistently. Okay, I'm gonna keep it simple. Tip number 2. And this is probably the most important tip. I'm not gonna lie. Tip number 2. This is probably the most important one I'm about to give y'all. You have to consistently compress your waves. All right. What I'm trying to say is that when people say that they're double compressing, what I've usually seen is that they get a do-rag, they put it on, they get a wave cap, and they throw it on top of the do-rag, and they say that's a double compression. In my definition, this is your compressor. This does not compress your hair. Do-rags are not for compression. Do-rags are for protection. That's just my definition. Do-rags protect your hair so that once you lay it down with a plastic bag or you finish your session, that you can sort of save your progress so that outside external factors don't frizz your hair up so that your hair stays laid. But compression is basically pushing your hair down. Compression is different than laying it. Compression, you need a wave cap or anything that's stretchy. That's gonna really pull your hair down into place. Especially if you have a lot of coarse hair. If you're a coarse hair waver, your hair is gonna frizz up very easily. You need compression on your hair, something to push it down. So what I'm saying is that if this is just for laying and this is for compression, and you put this on, that's not double compression. I mean, that's single compression. This is the only thing compression. Double compression is if you were wearing 2 wave caps with your do-rag. This is 0 compression. This is 0, this is 1, and another one is 2. This is not double compression. I'm sorry, I don't call this double compression. This is regular compression. That's basic. So if you want to gain progress fast, a lot of y'all want to complain. Yeah, sometimes there's ways to get around the do-rag line, even with wearing another wave cap. You could wear a wave cap with your do-rag and not end up with a do-rag line. I'm gonna show y'all that in another video. So you should be compressing, not just laying, compressing consistently every day. If you're not brushing, you should have this with this with this. This is just as important as this. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Okay. Third tip, and I might have lied before saying that was the most important tip, because what I'm about to tell you right now, this actually might be the most important tip. What I'm about to tell you, you got to shower brush, not just shower brushing, because everybody shower brushes or washing styles. Once you do your washing style, you can't just do it regularly. You gotta do your washing style perfectly. You have to do this perfectly. Let me emphasize this again. You have to wash and style perfectly. You can't mediocre. You can't do it regularly. Like, your washing style has to be perfect. So what I mean by that, even my last video, you can't even use that because that washing style wasn't even perfect. My hair is already trained, so I can do a washing style and not really have perfect methods and not really do it perfectly, and I can still be fine because my hair has been trained. If you're washing and styling, number one, you got to get your angles perfect. Blind brushing is already a waving sin. Like blind brushing is already a no. But wash and style blind brushing, come on, man, come on. That's 10 times worse. Like, blind brushing is already a problem. But if you wash and styling and you're blind brushing, you need some help, man. You really need some help, because when your hair is wet and you have the shampoo in it and you're really brushing it in the mirror, you need to make sure you're getting those angles right, because however you brush during that session is going to dictate a lot of what your pattern is going to look like after your hair is dry and you unrag after that washing style and you do a bounce back method. The bounce back method, which I'm going to do another video on later. But you got to make sure you're getting your angles right once you brushing with shampoo in your hair, because it's really going to determine where your waves are going to go. That's just how simple it is. So if you brushing and you in the mirror, you got to make sure you hitting everything. I got to make sure I hit every angle perfectly. Multiple strokes, every angle perfectly. It's just as important to mirror brush during a washing style than it is during a regular session. In fact, it's probably even more important to make sure you have a mirror when you brush it during washing style compared to when you're regular brushing, because it's really gonna stick like that. It's really gonna stick like that because once the water is in your hair is the most easiest to move. It's very malleable, it's soft, it's easy to move in that direction that you need it to be. So that's the third tip. y'all gotta take into heart. You gotta wash and style perfect. Also, another thing about perfect washing styles. Once you're laying your hair down with extra shampoo before you about to put your do-rag on, that step is essential. You need to make sure you get shampoo on your hair and all the frizz that's laying up on your hair is all laid down before you rag up in a washing style. Or else after you take it off, your hair is gonna be frizzy. You're gonna be over curling and everything. That's not good. And that's just gonna make you gain progress slow. You can be doing a washing style and you have your do-rag and you have your wave cap in the other room, in another room. And then by the time you're done, you're like, oh snap, I need to go get my do-rag. Like by that time, running back and forth, air is gonna be blowing through your hair. Your hair is gonna be frizzing up. If you got coarse hair, your hair is gonna be over curling. It don't take long if you got curly, nappy hair, and especially if your hair is not trained. Just a little bit of water in your hair is gonna make it curl up like crazy. If your do-rag and your wave cap is in another room or somewhere, you better get it before you start the washing style. So as soon as you're done laying it down, you can put it straight on. And also, like I said in the second tip, during a washing style, you gotta compress. If you're a coarse hair waver and you're doing a washing style and you're only wearing one do-rag, like, come on, man. Come on. Like, you really need both. I'm telling you, it is essential. Don't just wear this. Some people just want to wear this because they think it's just fashion. They want everybody to see their silky do-rag. They want it to be nice. They want everybody to see it. That's cool. That's cool. But we doing business here. We doing business. So if you're doing a washing style, man, you got to make sure you compressing with your do-rag. You got to make sure you got compression. So the first tip, hard brush. I'm going to just run it back. First tip, you got to make sure you hard brush every day. Trust me, every day. Second tip, number two, compression. Need one of these. You can get a boo-boo cap. I'm not going to advertise for nobody, but you can get a boo-boo cap, whatever wave cap that you want to get. There's different functions for different ones, but they all do the same thing pretty much. You need a stocking cap, something that's going to push your hair down. There's a difference between compression and laying. They're not the same thing. This doesn't compress. This lays. This keeps your hair laid. This kind of saves your progress. This, honestly, believe it or not, will actually give you progress. I give people this analogy. Like, you know when you move in furniture, like you moving in a house or an apartment or whatever, and you got like a heavy couch or a TV or something like that, and it's on the carpet, and you pick it up, and you can see if it's been sitting there for a long time, you can see like the what's it called, the imprint like that it made on the carpet, like the marks that it made on the carpet just for sitting there that long. It pushed the carpet down so long that it left that imprint in there. That's pretty much what you're doing with this. You're pretty much pushing your hair down and holding it in place for so long that once you take it off, your hair stays like that. That's literally what you're doing with a wave cap. That's why you need a stocking wave cap to really compress and push your hair down. This is not enough to compress. This right here is going to compress your waves. And trust me, it's essential. And the third tip, you got to do your washing styles perfectly. You got to do it perfectly. You got to get all your angles right. You got to make sure all your supplies is right in front of you. You got to lay the fridge down. I'm telling y'all, if y'all follow those 3 steps, trust me, you will gain progress fast. Trust me, you will gain progress very fast. Somebody, if y'all in the comments, tell me what you think. Leave a comment down below. Like the video, subscribe. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna keep it simple. And y'all try these tips and let me know what you think in the comments. We out.